Hi guys, welcome to Racing Extra, our pre-post and early prices preview of some of the big races coming up. Nick Ashman, how are you?
Very well, how are you?
Yeah, good. Aaron Macy.
How are you, mate? Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. But boys, we had a quick look at some of the future markets last year and it was really popular. And we're going to do it again. Let's jump straight into it. Let's talk about the Golden Rose.
Just before we jump into it, I just want to say how bad a lot of these prices are. Like, there's not a lot of fat. These are meant to be early markets, and they're putting up.
Yeah, they're not
as if we're there on the day.
Yeah, look, there may have been a few.
The worst I've ever seen.
The worst we've seen.
But worst I've seen. I like playing them, and I've had.
Have you made them scared? Is that what your little results?
I can't imagine so. It's been with one or two agencies anyway, so even if you can make that excuse, it's incredibly weak.
All right, message to bookies. Come on, take a few chances. It's only early doors. Let's go straight into the Golden Rose, which is only a couple of weeks away. Obviously, the Vancouver trial, which everyone has gone to town on. Nick, you know Vancouver better than everyone. It's got to be built some warning signs there.
Yeah, undoubtedly. He's been working outstandingly at Randwick. So I thought his first up run was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. But certainly that trial probably would have expected a bit more. Time was okay.
Yeah. I think time was one of the better times of the morning.
He galloped well on Saturday morning. I didn't get the clock on him, but I know the reports were he galloped well.
Yep.
Maybe he's just a bit down, but he's sort of making these excuses. And with a horse that, well, now he's out to 550, I guess that's sort of a little more reasonable. But for a horse who's his club half and what we've come to expect from him, you sort of don't really want to be making excuses.
Yep.
If it wasn't for being trained by Gay, I would almost put the line through it. But she seems to be the master at having these horses trial, like they're flat out, and then go to the races and they're back fine, racing as well as they can.
And if you do watch his trial before he resumed last time in, he had no blinkers on, which is a big difference for the horse, but he also went just as badly. So
the fact that he had the blinkers and whips and the horses that beat him, no offence to you owners, but they are hacks compared to what he's going to be racing against.
Look, the other thing that concerned me is he was going to him, and then he just, that last 50 or 80 metres is the whip that I dislike the most. Like if a
usually he kind of keeps finding, but he kind of wasn't letting out his action, was he?
All right, boys, outside of Vancouver, look, obviously Exosphere returned quite well on a wet track and did a really good job with press statement. Which way are you guys leaning, and is there anything outside the top 3 or 4 that you can make a case for? Well, Exosphere is the favourite at the moment for those that haven't got the market in front of them. 325, thereabouts.
He was ultra impressive. Like, he really has looked like he's come back and come up another level. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting formula now. I think the value's going to come out of that Golden Rose market.
Yeah, I agree. I think the market's got it right.
Yeah, it seems where it is now, and I don't want to be having any early bets. I think there's no need to do it.
Those top 3 are occupying around 75% of the market, and I think that's pretty fair. Because I would think if you ran the race 4 times, one of those 3 would win 3 of them.
I don't think you're going to get money. Like, none of these horses are going to really start dramatic. I don't think that you really want to be betting early into these Golden Rose markets now. You can pretty much wait on the day.
You can make a case, maybe press statement was a bit unlucky to lose to Exosphere, and back on a dry track
what about if Vancouver doesn't run?
Is that a possibility?
Well, there is some talk of it. There's people putting the fielders out there. There's no 100% commitment from the stable just yet. I'm not saying he's not, and certainly as far as I know he's going there, but reading an article, I was obviously in the inquiry yesterday, but reading an article in the Sydney Morning Herald from Anna Pingilly and Chris Roots, they said that Gay hadn't 100% committed to the race. So that's the only caveat I'd put on everything we're saying, is that if he comes out and then all of a sudden you've got 325 and 420 on.
All right, let's have a look at the Epsom next. Boys, looking at the market, Kermadec, $8, $9 for First Seal, Royal Descent, Eagle, Alpine Eagle, Pornichet, Haraki, Winks, so forward. Boys, any early thoughts on the Epsom?
Yeah, I think this could be a race to dive into, because if he goes through a lot of these horses, I'd be very surprised to see Kermadec in an Epsom.
Yep.
First Seal, I'm not sure, Nick, is that where she's heading?
Yep.
So there's one that is heading there. $9 could be overs for her. Royal Descent, I don't think she'll be going there. Or have you heard that she is?
Look, I haven't heard, but I think it's actually a nice race for her. I know she'll carry a little bit of weight in that, but she carried 55.5 last year. I'm assuming Boban comes back up from Melbourne.
Yep.
And possibly goes to the George Main and then maybe into the Randwick Mile, which is a very well performed out. He's obviously flying. He carried 58 or 59 in a Stradbroke handicap and he was very gallant in defeat, so I can't see a reason why he wouldn't come back and have a go at the
I could easily say Boban now. I have a feeling Royal Descent won't know, just knowing what Chris is like with weights, and now she's going to get penalised for a win first up as well.
Yeah, look, I don't know, but I give her a hope. I actually didn't mind the $11 or $12 around about it.
Cornachet,
as far as I know, he's going that way.
He's going
to go that way,
okay.
yeah. So as far as I know, but obviously he might go down to Melbourne, and there was talk at the very start of him having an all Melbourne campaign. So we're going to see him second up in Sydney on Saturday. So I think they're just a lot of these stables as well. We need to mention, look at the weather. And tracks and stuff, and what suits the horses. I know John Thompson with First Seal, if it comes up raining, she might end up,
Okay, well, look, Epsom can sometimes be a race for horses on the up. So we've mentioned a few horses that are sort of well known. Let's talk about the High World's a good one.
High World and Stratum Star.
Stratum Star, Haraki, sort of, even maybe like a Noble Protector was all returned good figures at certain points last time.
The horse I'm looking at the odds is Flamingo Star.
Flamingo Star.
Slightly race, had the 2 races in the Brisbane campaign. He's a horse that looks desperate for the blinkers. We're going to see him here first up on Saturday, I believe. And I think he'll probably have one more run leading in the Epsom, where they'll probably apply the blinkers just to give him a run around, and I think Chris will have him. He kind of looks like that's the horse that he's really targeted the race, in my opinion, down in the weights.
Okay. Caulfield Guineas?
Yeah.
Should we rock and roll with that?
Yeah, definitely.
I've got Ready for Victory there at 450. Seems, I don't know, I can't quite see. We've got Vancouver also, which is probably easing every second, depending on what these rumours are happening. And then we got the press statements, Exeter Fishard, so a lot of those Golden Slipper horses, Golden Rose horses. Anything worth jumping in with all the question marks, or do we just concentrate on the Rose first?
Well, I think in looking at that race, you've got, like you said, Ready for Victory. He's a horse that I've always seen as a sprinter, like get back run on sprinter, and I know at 3 they can stretch him out to that trip. But I'm actually there's 2 horses I'm interested in. His stablemate, which ran against him on Saturday, being Prince of Brooklyn.
Okay.
He's a horse that does look like a dead set miler to me. He started favourite in that race to the stablemate. Obviously with Spurs, I thought he hit the line well, and you're getting $26 him, and I don't think there's a major amount of difference in ability wise to them.
Yeah, it's a fair call.
Maybe the form hasn't stood up just yet. And there's a horse that's currently not in this market, and it's about 100 to 1 at the moment, and it's called Cicada. It's a horse of Murray Baker's that's racing today for anyone that watches this on Wednesday. It's a horse that looks like a lot of scope for improvement. Won impressively in New Zealand, and it's I believe it is going to Caulfield Guineas, and will probably be a Derby horse as well.
Yeah, I'm sort of a little bit reluctant. Look, Vancouver at 650, it's probably $7 and whatnot around, so it does sort of entice you a little bit. Knowing that he might be too down for 1100 first up and too down for a 1,000-metre trial, but this is a mile.
Yeah, for sure.
This looks what he's looking for.
Yeah, this does look like it. Look, if he runs second or third in a Golden Rose even, which means he still gets beaten in that race, but he might present as the horse to beat. I don't know about Exosphere, but getting over the trip, got any thoughts there? I'm not too sure. What
kind of does. This looks like in my opinion, a get back run on sprinter. Same opinion I got for Ready for Victory. But in that same opinion as well, those horses at 3 can be stretched to win these races.
Yeah. It just depends. So I'm sort of a little reluctant to play that market.
Okay. Should we move on to the girls' version, the 1,000 guineas? Let's go Pasadena Girl, 750, Jalan, Alaskan Rose, English Miss Gunpowder. So we're getting to double figures there. Quite a few others. There's one I want to mention, which is about $26, which is Painted Firetail,
Yeah.
who we haven't seen since its win at Randwick. Has it been at the trials yet?
Yeah, she
I'm a
trialled
little
the other
weak.
day. It's a nice quiet trial.
Yeah.
With the line down the outside. My only fear is I've got this little bit of a feeling from the stable is she still might need a little bit of time.
Yeah, okay.
But she's definitely the horse that stands out to me. That it's the lightly raced,
Yep.
lots of ability, up and coming. Whether she goes to the 1,000 guineas or she stays for the Sydney equivalent.
Yeah, okay.
In the
That's the
flight
problem,
stakes.
isn't it? It's so hard to
That's
tell.
the hard thing to know. Hopefully Mr. Ashman can find out for us.
Yeah, I mean, in due course, no doubt. And obviously, Gay's got her fillies, Flamboyant, they speak fondly English.
Yeah, English, maybe.
Yeah, oh look, I think she's just a sprinter.
That
She hasn't
run on
run
sprint.
much. Yeah, I think she's just a sprinter. I don't really want to be on her
Okay.
much more than 12 or certainly 1400.
Okay.
And I have Speak Fondly in front of her. So, yeah, whether Speak Fondly gets out over a trip remains to be seen
Yeah.
as well. So.
I think she's, like for me, in my opinion, I think English is the better sprinter still. We'll find out on Saturday. Just as well as I was touching on Speak Fondly, I thought English looks a better sprinter, but like I think she kind of has that mould that she'll just be able to keep stepping up in trip
Yeah.
on pace, Speak Fondly, whether she's good enough to win the 1,000 guineas.
Yeah, and let's talk about the Melbourne form quickly. Like, Pasadena Girl had a sort of a quite a long campaign for a 2-year-old filly, and look, did well. $7.50. Like, it's not a small price, so I just don't like it. Jalan definitely I'm interested in. Hitting the line real hard. Alaskan Rose is doing good things, but to getting up to that distance, I'm a little bit questionable.
First prep as well,
Yep,
it's probably
yep.
going to have to be 4th or 5th up.
Yeah, Jalan
I did
really.
love it to win the other day. I love
Yeah.
its actions.
Yeah.
God's got a beautiful action, that horse. One horse that is a little bit of odds is Jamaica. It was one that always
Yeah.
promised that
Yeah.
a lot of things go against it.
Yeah.
It could be the one at the $21 from the Melbourne form that does definitely look rather interesting.
Okay, the next race.
Is the Metropolitan.
The Metrop, boys, you've got the market there. It's all Godolphin, isn't it? Magic Hurricane, Hartnell, Haraki, Havana Cooler, all on top of the market.
My understanding is Hartnell's going to the Cox Plate. I mean, I
Okay.
can't confirm 100%, and I guess it's subject to change as it
Yep.
always is. But I thought I was hearing that he was going to the Cox Plate. So Saintly obviously came to the Metropolitan and won a Cox Plate, I think, from memory.
Okay.
But typically, most horses won't go to a Metropolitan if they're tackling the Cox Plate.
If that's the case, I'll be taking the $17 Hartnell in the Cox Plate because I think we'll see a superstar on Saturday.
Yeah, there's 21 around as well, I think.
Oh, really? Okay, so just on the Metrops, anything you're suggesting to the viewers to jump into? It's sort of
Silver-
$8-9 a field. at the
Silver
moment.
Ball impressed me the other day. He's got a lot of improvement. I think he's the horse of Wallace that's dead set being targeted at the race.
Okay, well, that's
I think
always
he can
good
get
to know.
slightly better. I think
Yeah.
he's getting that perfect setup. He was big first up, big second up. He's just making that slow progression, and I think he'll be ready to peak on the day. I think the other horse that was an impressive win the other day was also Havana Cooler. Not impressive run, sorry, not win. Probably should have won first up. He's a horse that will definitely get the trip. Stepping up in journey will be a big plus, so it'll be interesting to.
Godolphin horses, they've been imported to Australia for the purpose of the cups.
Yep.
This is the first full year that they've been able to do that with John O'Shea at the helm, and I suspect that the Metropolitan will be a race that not just this year but going forward that will be a key race for them to qualify these horses for the cups in Melbourne. They get the chance to do it in Sydney,
Yep.
and then they go to Melbourne afterwards. So I'd be keeping a real close eye on them. And look, out wide, Bohemian Lily's going real good at
Yeah,
home.
I've noticed you've kept your eye on her.
But $26 is pretty skinny, you know. Like it's nothing flash.
Is Gust of Wind going that way?
Yeah, well, no, she's. I think you'll find she might. Well, I don't know. I haven't spoken to Sarge, but when I spoke to him on Monday, he was looking at going to Mackay Diva on Saturday week with her.
Yeah.
I haven't checked the final fields yet, but for today. But
I think last time you mentioned he did want to try and keep it a more Melbourne.
yeah, so I would think probably not. But and she's obviously already qualified for the races, so she doesn't need to
go
go in
this
a
way.
handicap as such. No, I wouldn't have thought so. The offer's going good. I know he's a bit of a. You don't like backing horses that have already had a bite at Cherry. Given he didn't run in the Melbourne Cup, but he did have a campaign.
Yep.
Watch for him in the Wyong Cup, but he could come through the Wyong Cup, Newcastle Cup.
Yeah, okay.
And he could honestly be 3 from 3
Yep.
going into a Metro.
Yeah, good point.
So be interested to see how he goes. And outside, I just can't find much fat in it, guys. I struggle. All I can say is keep an eye on the Godolphin horses, and because I really do think it's a race they're going to use.
Yep.
Beautiful.
All right, boys. Thanks for looking at the early look at the previews.
Thank you.